First up we have Scott Spain. His speech today is entitled Six Times the Charm. And he says that the reason he picked this speech was because everybody's a sucker for a good love story.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage, that blessed arrangement, that dream within a dream. And love, true love, will follow us forever. So treasure your love. That's a corny scene from The Princess Bride at a wedding. But I think it does a great job of setting me up for my topic today, which is marriage. A lot of us are married, or have been. Some of us maybe twice, maybe more. See, for some people, the second or third time's a charm. Not this guy. For me, the sixth time was the charm. So what I'd like to do today is walk you through the timeline that is the history of my marriages. First up, high school sweetheart. We were 17 years old. We dated for 8 years until February 29th, 1992, when we got married on the anniversary, the day we started dating. It's a pretty big ceremony. It was at a church in Denver, where we both grew up. Tons of friends and family members there. People we didn't even know, neither one of us. Not sure how they got there. The marriage itself, it was awesome. Sure, we were young, we struggled, we were poor, just like every other 25-year-old couple is. But we were building something together. We were figuring out what we wanted to be when we grew up. We were trying to discover the meaning of life together, and it was great. Fast forward to 1996, marriage number 2. I'd met the girl of my dreams, was ready to do it again. This time the ceremony wasn't as fancy or formal. In fact, there were no guests. It was just my beautiful bride and I in a yellow Mustang convertible getting hitched at a drive-up window in Vegas. The year was 2002. Figured I'm doing great. So I decided, you guessed it, let's get married again. This time, it was a quaint ceremony at the cutest little chapel, and there were guests, 3 of them to be exact. Justin and Karen, our best friends, were the best man and the maid of honor. Our friend Jim pulled double duty that day. He walked my bride down the aisle, and he was the photographer. The marriage itself, fantastic. We were a little bit older, a little bit wiser, more responsible, especially with money. Much more responsible than I had ever been. Together, we figured out that credit cards weren't a way to buy expensive stuff that you couldn't afford. The marriage was adventurous. We traveled. We saw the world together. We visited London, Paris, Rome. We saw Sweden and Scotland. We had the time of our lives discovering different worlds and different cultures together. Number 4, 2004, we are not going to talk about. All I will say is I found myself in Vegas with a few friends. One thing led to another. Next thing you know, I'm getting married to some girl in the back of a car. Let's move on. 2008. If my other marriages were good, this one was great. Ceremony was a lot of fun. It was at a small chapel in Las Vegas. Catching on to a theme here. We had friends join us from out of town. This one, our master of ceremonies, the one and only Elvis Presley. It was great. He sang and he danced and he entertained, all the while juggling the wedding vows. It was really impressive. Afterwards, we wrapped it up with a nice little dinner at the Venetian. The marriage itself, almost perfect. Say almost because it wasn't without its challenges. Every marriage has its challenges. We both went through some pretty drastic career changes. We both suffered the loss of a parent the same year. That was really tough. But you know what? We did it together. We knew that no matter what life threw at us, we'd get through it with each other, and we did. By this time, I'm starting to figure out that marriage is just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So I'm seeing the most beautiful girl in the world. Her name is Mary. The opportunity presented itself just 2 months ago. I took her to Vegas, and I married her. It was a great ceremony. We had friends from Vegas that were there. People traveled from Utah, from Colorado, from Texas, friends and family alike. Running the show that time was Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. It's a neat ceremony outside in a little garden. I can describe the wedding to you, but I can't really say a lot about the marriage yet. It's still pretty fresh. I mean, it is only 2 months old. But I can tell you that so far, because of Mary, they've been the best 2 months of my life. I'm convinced that she was tailor-made just for me. She's exactly what I've been searching for all these years. I would not want to live without her. I was looking for a quote today, and I found one from a really old Vogue magazine. Minion McLaughlin wrote, "A successful marriage requires falling in love several times, always with the same person." So if she will have me, on February 29th, 2016, I will drag Mary to Vegas and marry her again for the 7th time. Mary, will you marry me? Thank you.